Hello, loves. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I opted out of the microphone today. Did we make it? Sometimes it says that I'm live and then it blips into nowhere land. So, hello and welcome. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm not using the microphone today. I'm still a little nasally and stuffed up, so I do apologize for taking that little time off, but it was needed and it was interesting because I started getting all of these crazy downloads and had so many things come through. So Neptune went into Aries and it was a huge transit that hasn't happened in 164 years, okay? And so nobody alive today has ever seen the world when Neptune has been in Aries. So this is new and exciting and big. It's a big deal. Every astrologer is talking about it. It happened on the 30th. So let's talk about what this means for us and everybody. So Neptune is a very spiritual planet. It is the slowest moving planet next to Pluto. So that's why it takes as long as it takes to get into different signs. So this is about spiritual awakening. This is about evolution. This is identity, how to identify with your spiritual gifts and the expansion that comes from that, right? This is creativity, vision, purpose, mission, all the things that we talk about in here, right? And it's been in Pisces, and Pisces is very emotional. It's also very visionary. So the shadow side of that, what we've been experiencing since 2012, is, getting kind of stuck in the vision, getting stuck in that long term, getting stuck in, as if we've always had to be like, well, if I had all the resources, if I had the courage, if I had this, if I had that, then my dream and my goal would be so fantastic and I would actually be able to live it. And how cool would that be, right? That's kind of the shadow side that we've been dealing with. Now, Aries, where Neptune has just moved into, is bold, courageous, creative, and courageous, right? And it takes action. It's very fiery, passionate, creative, right? So Neptune's whole persona of spiritually led vision, purpose, and mission paired with this bold, courageous action is a huge deal. So we're going to start seeing the world support our mission. I'm going to say that again. The world is going to get behind our ideas, okay? So we've been in a very wide lens, and that lens is automatically starting to zoom in to our individual plans. So it's interesting that now it's almost like all of these things have come into alignment, and now we can truly say that the stars have aligned for business planning, have aligned for activating yeomanship, if that's a thing, right? So we have been feeling like we're kind of running on a treadmill going nowhere. We've felt like we're running in place and the vision is there, but what do we do? What do I do? What do I do, right? So you guys voted, and we're talking today about short-term goals and how to turn those into reality with bold action steps. And that happens to be exactly what Neptune and Aries signifies for us. So instead of being stuck in the vision, stuck in the manifestation, and hey, Kara, how's it going? A lot of us have felt this way where the vision is there, but we're stuck in this manifestation. And it's been this viral concept since, 2012 or so, right? Where it's like everything is the buzzword manifestation. And now, just over the last several months, I feel like a lot more people are talking about I'm kind of over it. I'm over this idea of manifesting. That means that it's far away and I have to go reach for it. And that's not activating that center within us that feels like we already have that thing, which is the last step in manifesting. If you guys are familiar with Abraham Hicks, she talks about 3 steps to manifesting, and that last step is the art of allowing. And being in that state of okay, things are working out. Now it's just time to wait for that package to be delivered, right? Because we've already set that intention, and the intention is the idea, right? The first thing is the idea, and then we set the intention, and then we have this art of allowing that actually brings it forward, which is where we get into an energetic alignment with what we're calling in And it can come to be because we are the same frequency as it. Does that make sense? What do I need to do differently on a spiritual path in order to actually manifest these things into my life and get out of that visionary state, right? And so for the first time in 164 years, the stars have aligned for just that. So what this means for us is for the next 6 months in particular, okay, because Neptune is in Aries and then it's going to be stationary and then it's going to go backwards and retrograde back into Pisces until January. And then it'll be in Aries officially for like till 2039. What this means is right now is a very, very good time for us to put together a 6-month plan. A plan for the next 6 months of what action we are going to take. What visions have we been getting downloaded to us? What do those feel like and how are they coming through to our identity? So this comes back to vision and purpose and mission, but in a 6-month plan, right? So for me personally, I have always had, sorry about the dog, guys. The window is open and I probably should have thought twice. Bible study. Fun times. Real life. Pause for real life, right? So, as I was saying, I think was for me, I've always had this idea of having this large scale ranch, right? Somewhere far away, somewhere not in the valley where I live, and being able to have the horses, the stables, the training, the yoga studio, all these things. And I've always had this really big vision for it. There's gardens and I'm selling herbs and I'm selling leathers and I'm selling jewelry and all these things out in the ether somewhere, out there far away, right? And just recently, before I even knew about Neptune, I started getting these downloads of a store. I was driving past different retail areas, like those strip mall areas, and I was like, oh my gosh, how cool would it be? And so I picked up my daughters, and my oldest is really good with the vision and like always been a good supporter of it. She wants to be there, she wants to be a part of it, right? So it was like day before my birthday, which did also just pass, and so it's my solar return, so this energy shift is really big for me, right? And so I took my daughters and I drove up to this retail space and I was just like, okay, but how would it be? I was just like, so go with me here, you know? And my oldest just kind of looked at me. She was like, are we doing it? Are we doing it? And I was just like, okay, it's just an idea, but how cool would it be, right? So now, since I went to that space, since I saw the storefront, since I have been falling asleep to future self meditations, right? It's like the vision has now changed. So yes, I want to have the ranch and have the horses and all of the things out into the country, right? But what if I could have the store and then expand the store and expand, right? So it's like online, yes, I can show up and do these videos and I can have the course content, I can do these things online, and then expand, and then do this, and then expand, right? So that's what I'm thinking is the Neptune and Aries affecting me personally with my solar return, and how I feel that that is kind of guiding me to these next steps and being able to see things in a more progressive state, right? So keeping that creativity of the mission, keeping that passion, that drive, that mission of where I want to be, but having it kind of fine-tuned to be now. So I would encourage you guys to look at it from that space of what does that mean for you? So what's the big goal? We've talked about that a lot in here, right? That end goal, where do we see ourselves in 10, 15, 20 years? The big mission, right? And what that serves for humanity, right? Now, here it is kind of doubled down into next action steps as of today for the next 6 months, right? So what I perceive as needed right now would be that sort of business plan, if you're business planning, or next steps in terms of whatever it is that you are manifesting, and getting out of that space of like, it's just out there somewhere and it's somewhere far away and I have to maybe someday grab that after some crazy luck of the draw happens, right? And let me know if you guys have felt that way, because I have, where it's like, okay, maybe if I get lucky and win the lottery, then maybe I can make these things happen, right? That's that Pisces shadow side. The Aries shadow side is going to be impulsiveness. Like, let's just go sign that lease. Let's just go grab that business loan, you know? That's that impulse of like, just go grab it. Where in Pisces, it was like, maybe somewhere down the line. So we're seeing this really big switch happen, and I'm really interested to see how this plays out for the next 6 months. And then we get the opportunity to go back into Pisces a little bit and think to ourselves, okay, has the last 6 months action steps aligned with my future end goal, right? And getting back into that visionary. And then it stays stagnant for a minute, stationary, I should say. Then it moves again. So we get this really cool opportunity to take on the next 6 months. Bold, action, courageous, impulsive, right? Maybe we just let it happen, right? Maybe we just allow ourselves to be impulsive. And so we take that impulse, we take that bold action, we launch the things, we push those content pieces out, right? And see what happens in 6 months. And then October, we station back, we relax on it a little bit, and we look back at the vision, come back to that space of, is this working, yes or no? And it's 11:17, my numbers, yay. I missed 11:11, but it passed too. So, yes, I am super excited about this. So what I have put together is the Activate the Warrior CEO within. And this is going to be a program that's going to set you up for this next 6 months. So Neptune has gone into Aries as of the 30th of March and is going to be there until October 22nd. So if we can have a support system in that segment, this little segment, to really decipher how this energy is going to move our mission. What do we need to do? What are the action steps? This is going to be a course that runs 4 weeks, and it goes through the exact processes that you need in order to put a business plan together. So from mission to next steps, from I'm going to win the lottery to financial planning and projections, right? Everything that is needed to go into a business plan to make your dreams a reality. We do it in the next 6 months, okay? It won't run that long, but it's going to be ran in the 6 months, okay? And then we will reflect on it, decide what to do with it, and come January, when it goes direct for sure, and it's continuously in Aries for the next several years, that is when the plan gets put into place, and we're able to fulfill these action steps in a different way, because like I said, it's like the world is now on board. We've had to go kind of against the grain. We're the visionaries, so we are different from the rest, right? That's how it's been as Uranus is, or Neptune. Neptune has been in Pisces since 2012. And I don't know if you guys felt it, but I definitely did when Neptune went into Pisces. 2012 was a big deal for me in my life, because I really started to look at where I wanted to go and how I wanted to be. Like, the whole small town dream became a bigger deal in 2012. So looking back and seeing that 2012 is when it was in Pisces, I was like, oh, okay, that really makes a lot of sense for me. Now that it's in Aries, it's like I already got these downloads to fine-tune the end goal to the now without even knowing that Neptune was in Aries, right? Leslie, hi, it's so good to see you, love. So yeah, it's about the short-term goals leading us up into our end goal, our end mission. So it's like, how does the mission, the purpose, the vision get streamlined into bold, courageous action, right? So we're already automatically, we're going to start thinking differently about what we take action on, how we take action, what does action really look like? Because we hear that all the time. Show up and do. But does it always make us feel good to take that action, right? Because I know that for me, making posts is a huge deal. in my business. I need to be making posts, writing posts. But for whatever reason, somewhere along the way, I lost the ability to create posts because of a ridicule wound or the witch wound or what have you, like people telling me to stop, and it got weird. It got weird for me, okay? So I'm redirecting my energy to that and thinking to myself, okay, brand message, what is that? You know, content creation, what is that? Because I can do it for other people all day. All day I can create. And I can create thumbnails like this one here, right? But to create consistent, just flashing out content, which I'm a projector, so that's what I'm supposed to be doing, right? So we're going to have a new way of thinking around this action and what it means. And, you know, maybe if that doesn't feel aligned, then we don't do it that way and we do something else, you know, and that's okay. So we're going to find these pivot moments to get around obstacles. It's like a river that, you know, streams down and you have rocks all over the place. The water doesn't just stop unless there's a literal dam, right? It moves around. So we're going to be finding more opportunities for movement, and obstacles are not going to matter nearly as much as they have in the past. And we're not going to get stuck in that manifestation, in that vision. We're going to get lost instead in the sauce. You know, we're going to be thinking, I could do this and then go do it, right? And oh, I could do this and then go do it. The inspiration is there, and the inspiration is different to take that action, put one step in front of the other, and then realizing that the world is on our side, the universe is on our side, the actual stars have aligned to make this path for us. So we don't have to constantly feel like we're pushing up against obstacles. Those obstacles are going to be a little bit more out of our way. I have been under the weather and I still feel very much aligned with what is coming forward here. I could not believe the downloads that I've been getting. I can't believe, you know, just driving by something and thinking to myself, yeah, I think that could be meant for me. So be watching the thoughts that come through for you. Be watching, you know, if you drive by different signs in the past, maybe you would have been thinking like, oh, okay, that would be cool if. Now it's a totally different take on the short-term availability of the goal, right? So, okay, yeah, that would be great if turns into, but what if I did that? Right? That the whole vibe of like, okay, but hear me out. Right? And partnering with people or crowdfunding or doing those types of things, those business ideas themselves, crowdfunding, angel investors, I feel those are going to expand, and they're going to have more availability, and they're going to be more receptive to our ideas because they make sense for the goals. Like, the opportunities are going to arise. And it's going to be up to us to really think long and hard of like, is this something I really want to do? If so, why wouldn't I? And that's the thought that I've been having, is just like, people do it. These things exist. That space is for lease. Why wouldn't I? You know? And for me, it's really about getting out of my living room. And my tarot table right now is right next to where I sleep. I know that I don't want people in my home when I do readings in person, and when I do energy clearings in person, I would want to be somewhere else and then do energy clearings for the space after that fact, right? So we went to the craft store because you guys know we're all crafty around here. And so my kids did little paintings for Easter that we're going to give to people, and so I picked one for me. Look how cute she is. Ah, I love it. So the little store is going to live right next to my computer over here, and that's where she shall stay, so I can see her every single day until I get the storefront, because I love it. I love it. I love the idea of it. So what is that idea for you? What's the short term that could actually happen, that's not actually that far away, that is ungraspable, right? That before it felt ungraspable because maybe we were thinking too far in the future, maybe we were thinking outside the valley. What if we made it happen, but made it happen here and a little different, right? So let me know as you guys are getting those types of downloads. Let me know how it feels for you and if you felt the shift. There's going to be a sign up page for Activate the Warrior CEO. It's going to be really, really fantastic. The business plan is going to be streamlined into action steps that we do together. It's not just suggestions of, hey, do XYZ things and maybe it'll work for you. This is like, okay, here is exactly what I would do. Fill this out. It's going to feel more like journal prompts. And then you take those and you have this little booklet that you take with you that actually ends up being a business plan that you can present to a place like Elise, or give this to people that you are looking to hire for your business. A VA or a brand manager or a social media manager. These are the types of things that you need to have in order to present your business so it bridges the gap, right, between the vision, the mission, and the short term. Whatever that means for you. It doesn't have to be a physical space that you want to go lease. It's anything that you want to do, that you have to bridge the gap between here's my vision and my mission and here's the 3D, which is why I put in one of our poll options the shapeshifter and the trickster, and how to be that in order to play the game of life right in the 3D. So it's kind of that snake energy, that fox energy, right? This program is going to be very much that. Your activation and your soul purpose. How do you word it in a way that the normal muggle person can understand and look at it and say, okay, that's a good idea, right? So the financial projections, the SWOT analysis, the brand messaging and voice, the niche, the ideal client, all of those things that we talk about consistently, but have a hard time, I think, sometimes implementing. This is from the vision to the action. And it's just so interesting how this is coming through right now, right? So this is my way to help, right? And I want you guys to really think, what is your way to help? And, you know, this offer can definitely be something that helps you understand your product suite, right? That's part of it. Your products and how you order, how people order from you, how you get your money, how people pay you, right? All of that, the website, the ClickBank, the ClickFunnels, Content Bank, what that looks like, all of those things are made for you. The plan is set in place so that you have this business plan, and then you just redo it over and over and over. We're going to go over the launch plans. We're going to go over what you offer and how you offer it to the right people. Okay, so check the links all around. I'm super, super excited for this energy. I definitely feel the shift. I hope you guys do as well. Let me know how this lands, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.